What's up y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I have the new Appley in Love palette from Too Faced, and I'm pretty excited about this one. First of all, the packaging is absolutely gorgeous, and I can smell the apple cinnamon from here. It brings back so many memories. This is very nostalgic for me. Listen, I loved my Too Faced palettes back in the day. The chocolate bar and the peach palette, they had me in a chokehold for such a long time, but then I kind of found everything after that to be a little boring, a little repetitive. Even the Italian Spritz palette that came out last year, the color story didn't really resonate with me. I found it to be a little chaotic, but this color story, this one got me. This one's absolutely beautiful. It is giving me fall vibes, and I love a fall themed palette. Is it a little basic? Yeah, it is. It's nothing new. It's nothing innovative. Like, we've definitely seen these colors, these color stories before, but it's still absolutely beautiful. I love the pops of reds, greens, this purple, and this mustardy yellow shade down here. Plus, they got me with the packaging. But before we create two different looks with this palette, let me give you some close-ups, some swatches, and all of the details on this palette. So starting with the packaging, this is their good tin packaging. This is kind of like where they shine as far as their eyeshadow formula goes, and this is absolutely beautiful. Open her up and you have this absolutely gorgeous fall themed 18 palette color story. You have 9 mattes, 9 shimmers, and I really like the selection of colors. I like the selection of shimmers in here, and I'm super excited about it. Now, like I said, this is fragranced. Too Faced palettes are always fragranced, and the brand says that this is supposed to be apple caramel, but to me it smells like apple cinnamon, almost like big red gum. If you know, you know. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But I will have this palette listed down below in the description box, as well as everything else that is on my face. I did film the rest of this makeup, and you will actually see that video go up tomorrow, but it will still be listed and linked down below in the description box in case you're curious about what I use. So per usual, if you're ever curious about anything that I use in any of my videos, always check the description box. I squeeze as much information as I can into that tiny little space. But let's go ahead and get my hair out of my face, zoom in a little bit more, and we're gonna start creating the two looks with this palette. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this first look. I have already primed my eyes with my MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly, and I think I really want to play with like this burgundy shade, this purple, and some of these neutrals. So I'm going to start out with this shade right here. This one is called Slice Slice Baby. Oh my gosh, y'all. I love a pun, I love a joke, and I'm loving the shade names. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up with a Morphe M504 brush, and I'm gonna start to fluff this into my crease. If you've been here, you know the drill. I'm just starting to build up the shape, the definition, and something for my other shades to blend into. But this is going on so nicely. Now, like I said, it's been a while since I used a Too Faced palette. The last one that I used was from holiday, I want to say 2022. Is that the Bake Shop one that they had with like the 3 little palettes? Those were not good, y'all. They were not good. I took a chance and I didn't like them, but then I realized that they were in the cardboard packaging, not the tin packaging, so it was my mistake. But that is beautiful. I love the way that went on. So effortless, very velvety, very silky. Yep, I love it. All right, so next we're gonna build up on this crease a little bit more, and I wanna go in with this purple shade down here. This one is called, okay, hold on, wait, y'all. I have to show you something because I messed up. So the shade names are on top of the eyeshadows, not below them. So the first shade that I used was actually called Caramel Apple, and the shade that we're gonna use right now is called So Snackable, and that is definitely a very snackable purple, if I do say so myself. So just letting y'all know that the shade names are on top, not on the bottom. My mistake. But I'm going to pick that shade up with a Singe Beauty EO3 brush, and I'm going to start to build up this crease a little bit more. Give me some color. I am going to take it about halfway over and just blend it up and start to create that shape that I want. I'm going to take that onto the lower lash line as well and just kind of smoke it all the way across. All right, so next we're gonna go into this deep burgundy shade right here. This one is called Candy Apple. I'm gonna pick that up with a Singe Beauty EO5 brush and just build up that outer corner a little bit more, giving a little bit of like a different tonal value out here, a little bit of depth, add some color. And I am gonna bring this down onto like the outer portion of my lower lash line as well. Ooh, that's really pretty. I love that. All right, let's go ahead and do some sparkle on the lid. I've already primed with my NYX glitter primer, and I think I want to play with like these 3 shades right here. So I want this one, which is called Bite Me, to be like the main focal point of the lid. I'll probably use Appley in Love to blend the shimmer and the matte together, and then I'm gonna go into my inner corner with Sweetie Pie. So I'm gonna start with the shade Bite Me. I'm gonna pick this one up on my finger. This does feel very soft, very silky, and I'm liking the way that it's looking. It doesn't look like it's going to be super reflective and shiny, but it does have like a pink with a little bit of a gold flip to it. So still very pretty on the lid. All right, so next I just picked up the shade Appley in Love, and I'm gonna put that right here where that matte and that shimmer meet, just so I have a nice blend. We don't have any harsh lines, and everything just kind of flows together. You see how that kind of softens everything up and makes it so much more blended? That's the kind of look that I'm going for. And then last, for my inner corner, I picked up the shade Sweetie Pie on a Singe Beauty EO1, and I'm gonna pop this right here into my inner corner, kind of wrap it around to my lower lash line and blend it onto the rest of my lid. All right, y'all, so that is going to complete this first look, and I really like the way that this turned out. I think it's very pretty. I like the color combination, and I didn't have any issues with the performance of any of these shades. No patching, skipping, fallout. Although the shimmers on the lid aren't like super sparkly, they're not flippy, duochrome, multichrome or anything. They are very smooth. They went on really nicely. They're not the most reflective thing in the world, but they're subtle, they're pretty, and they didn't accentuate the texture on my lid. So that is a winner in my eye. But to finish off this look, I went ahead and lined my waterline and my lid, kind of winged it out a little bit with my Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal Liner in the shade Bordeaux. It matches this eye look perfectly. And then for mascara, I went in with the Charmacy Volume Mascara. But let's go ahead and pop into this second look with this palette. So for this, I really want to play with these greens, but I also want to play with like this mustard yellow shade as well. So I'm kind of thinking of starting with this one and then maybe moving into this deep brown over here, and then we'll incorporate the green. So we're going to start over here. This shade is called Turnover. Absolutely perfect for that shade. I'm going to pick it up with a Game Beauty EO6 brush, and just like I did the first eye, I'm just going to kind of fluff this into the crease, build up the depth, the definition, and a little bit of that shape. Ooh, that is a pretty color. I love it. Okay, so with a Game Beauty EO3, I'm gonna go into this shade right here, which is called Baskets Full, and I'm just gonna deepen up my outer corner a little bit. I don't want it to take over the look, but I definitely want to add that depth and definition out here, and I really just want to kind of see how dark this is gonna go, how well they're gonna build up on each other, or is it just gonna kind of fluff away? And it doesn't seem to be doing that. We've got some good pigmentation. All right, so I did take a little bit of this shade onto the outer portion of my lower lash line just to kind of smoke everything out and keep it nice and cohesive. But for the rest of the lower lash line, I want to go in with this shade right here. This one is called Orchard Stroll. So I'm going to pick that one up with a Game Beauty EO2 brush and just kind of fluff this down there along my lower lash line next to that dark brown shade. And then I'll kind of fluff it into it as well, making sure that it's nice and blended. All right, so my lid is primed and ready for some shimmer. So I want to do this one over here all over the lid. This one is called Crunch Time. And then for the inner corner, I think I want to do this one up here. This one is called Pick Me. So I'm going to go ahead and start by picking up that shade Crunch Time on my finger, and we're going to put it all over the lid. Now this one does feel a little bit more on the dry side. It doesn't feel as silky and smooth as the other shimmers that I used were. So we'll see what the pigmentation payoff is of this and how it lays on the lid. All right, so I think that looks really pretty on the lid. It is very underwhelming. It's not super punchy, flippy, or reflective. It is very subtle, but it still went on really nicely. I didn't get any fallout. It didn't emphasize texture. So, you know, if this is what you're looking for, this is going to absolutely give you that. But let's go ahead and do the inner corner. So with a Singe Beauty E01 brush, I'm gonna pick up that green satin shade called Pick Me. I'm going to spray it with my MAC Fix Plus, and we're gonna pop this on the inner corner as like our little pop of color. Ooh, that is pigmented. Holy smokes. I'm gonna wipe off my brush and I'm just gonna go back with the clean side, and I'm just going to kind of disperse this a little bit more. I think I'm even gonna go back in with that other green shimmer shade, which is probably what I should have gone in with to start with, and kind of mute that out just a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna do. So the other green shimmer shade that I'm talking about is this one down here called Slice Slice Baby. I didn't think this was going to be as pigmented as it is, but now we know. That's the whole point of trying these out and showing y'all how they perform. So I'm gonna pick up that shade with my same Singe Beauty E01. I'm going to lightly spray it with my MAC Fix Plus, and I'm gonna pop this over top. Yeah, and see how that just kind of lightens everything up, takes a little bit of that starkness away, and kind of helps it to blend just a little bit better. Much better. All right, y'all, so that is going to complete our second look with this palette, and I do really like the way this turned out. Is the inner corner a little bit more stark than what I had planned in my mind? It is, but you know, you live and you learn. I definitely should have gone in with just that lighter shimmer shade and kind of skipped the other one, but it still turned out really pretty. But I do want to let y'all know I did go in with just a fluffy brush right along the edges of that green shade just to kind of disperse it and soften it just a little bit. But I like the pop of color. I like the brown and yellow on the lid, and I do think this turned out really pretty in the end. But to finish off this look, I went in with a ColourPop cream gel liner in the shade Toucan Do It in my lower waterline, and then I lined my lid and winged it out a little bit with my Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner in the shade Cinnamon, and then I just threw on my same Charmacy volume mascara to finish off the look. But let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to give you my first initial impression thoughts on this palette. Okay, so first of all, the packaging. I think this is absolutely beautiful. It is a little more elevated and sophisticated for Too Faced. I feel like we usually see something a little more playful and whimsical, so I'm loving the more like mature Too Faced that we're seeing. Still fun, but like her older sister that's, you know, a little bit more on the mature side. But let's talk about the color story and the formula on the inside. So first of all, I think the color story is absolutely beautiful. It is very neutral leaning, and you do have a lot of pops of colors in here, but keep in mind that your pops of colors are generally going to come from shimmers. You only have like 2 mattes in here that aren't true neutral shades. I do think this one is kind of like that gray area where it could be a neutral, it could be a pop of color, but to me, it's definitely more of a neutral. But the matte formula in here I thought was very pretty. I didn't have any issues with the performance of them. They all blended on really nicely. They built up on one another really nicely. Nothing faded away or fluffed away or did anything weird. I didn't get any patching, grabbing, skipping, anything like that. I had minimal kick up in the pan, mostly from this shade, but it didn't transfer to the lid, so I'm okay with that. Now, as far as the shimmers in this palette go, these are definitely more on the subtle side. So you're not gonna get anything that's super reflective, super punchy. You're not gonna get any flips like multi-chromes or duochromes, but they're not going to be nothing. They're more of like a satin metallic shade, so more on the subtle side, like I said. So if that's what you're looking for, I think you would absolutely love this. But if you're expecting something to give you a lot of shimmer, glitter, shine, sparkle, you're going to be sorely disappointed. So while I don't think this is a bad palette and I don't think it's a bad formula, it's just not the best on the market. I feel like there's other palettes out there that have a better formula, have better quality, have better shimmers in them, and while we're at a $54 price tag, I feel like it could have been a little bit better when it comes to the shimmers in this palette. But overall, I do think it's really nice. I think it just comes down to your makeup preferences, your taste, and what you are looking for. And if you're looking for everything that I just described, this is going to be a perfect palette for you. I don't think you'd be disappointed in it. Keep in mind it is fragrance, so if you don't like fragrance in your makeup, you're not going to like it, but it does smell really good. I will give it that. But those are kind of my thoughts for now. I need to play around with it a little bit more, test out the rest of the shades, create more looks, do some wear tests and all of that. But that is going to complete this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Did you pick up this palette? Do you still have all of your Too Faced palettes? Which one is your favorite from the brand? And are you even still shopping from the brand? I want to know it all. Let's have that conversation. Light up that comment section. And as usual, I want to thank you so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.